Okay, folks, so I want to share this short video clip again from September 28th of last year. We're coming up on another anniversary, uh, as well as 9/11, which is yet another anniversary that they tell us we should never forget, right? Um, so just a heads up, I'm going to be trying to upload a couple of other videos concerning some 9/11 symbolism type of stuff, just some kooky kind of weird coincidences and different things like that. But I'm also going to be uploading some videos and reading from the last president, which I find very curious because it just happened to have been published on September 28th of 1896. And it talks about a lot of stuff that has been kind of happening nowadays. And I think that's kind of curious. So just a heads up, over the next few weeks, leading up to this anniversary of this capture here, showing something very interesting. There's a light and a beam that sweeps through, and there's a little red dot that appears right below this bright light. Now, this bright light here is Basic High School, more specifically, Basic International School of Studies. It's an international school, an IB school, okay? And a few years ago, they went through and changed out all of the natural grass and put in artificial turf at like 30 of the schools around the valley here, I think. I think it was about 30 of them, right around that. I just thought it was kind of curious, but anyway, in this short clip here, there's a little red dot that appears right below the light. And then right after, there's a large like light beam that sweeps across, and then another light that comes down and puts this larger light out for several seconds. And then it kind of spreads out, and then it comes back on, and then that beam of light just kind of fades off out of frame up towards the top left. So it to me it's a very curious capture, and it was storming out. So anyway, I'm just going to let this clip play forward, and then I'm just going to kind of narrate a little bit, and then I'll put all of these clips in this entire video at the end of this screen recording here where I'm narrating it to, just to kind of like repeat it and reiterate it. So yeah, and this will be facing to the south of our location here in Henderson, where I'm going to pause it for a second. There's been a lot of activity off in this direction. I just want to point that out too, that there's been an awful lot of activity that I've captured off here to the south. The light comes through, spotlight, and then it sweeps off. Then I show it, and then here's the lightning strike that comes through. Wait for it. That was a good one. And now I show a repeat with it exposed a little more, and you can see a little bit more of the beam that sweeps off right there. You could see it come in, sweeps across right there, and then comes down, and then the beam sweeps off right there. And now I do show a close-up as well, um, of the little red dot that appears right before that light sweeps through. And that was a very large beam, and that would have been coming down from very high up above our location. Now here's a close-up. There's a little red dot that appears right there, right before it's put out. Here's with the filter, there's a little red dot. Slowed down once again. There's the little red dot. It's almost like a little laser target hit that spot right before that light beam sweep through. There's a little bit closer. Right there's the little dot that appears. Let me back that up. Replay on those couple clips there. There's the little red dot. There's the lightning strike. I believe I slowed that down in this clip too. Yeah. That is a lot of energy. And do you notice the structure up here? back it up a little bit. There's some pretty sharp lines right there. Anyway, our location here is not that far from Nellis, as you can see from this screen grab. Nellis is over here. This is where the camera in basic high school is located. Less than 15 miles away from Nellis, so it would not surprise me if they didn't use different areas around here as targeting locations for targeting systems. Not necessarily anything um, meant to be nefarious. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying that they've been known to test things in and around different areas around some of these bases, and we're within 15-mile range of Nellis. It would not surprise me if an international school, the Basic Academy of International Studies here, was not a target zone that would have been used, that would be used. And here's, this is the grandstand right here, and this is the new like turf here that they just put in. And then this here is another angle. This is the grandstand off over in here where that bright light was, and the camera would have been located like down in here. Just to kind of put it into perspective, from this angle. And I've captured a lot of interesting stuff off in this direction here, off towards Black Mountain. And you can see a lot of these hills around here they're not populated very heavily. So there's not a lot of people out in some of those areas. So if they're going to use anything really for testing grounds or anything like that, it just kind of makes sense. But as far as like targeting different locations, that wouldn't surprise me either. And this was right there's where the grandstand is. This is just another angle when this popped off in that direction. I've captured a lot of very interesting activity off in this direction. That was where I captured this thing drifting through. Right here is the grandstand down below, right there. I'm still looking for answers on that too. And this is in the same direction, same part of the sky. Just there's the last president, 1896, September 28th, 1896. So over the next few weeks, I'm going to be reading some pages from the last president. Ain't that the truth?